for joining. This is the Devops mock interview day 33. So we have already completed 32 mock interviews. If anyone missing, right, you can check out in the playlist section. So I have already updated 22 mock interviews. And please like this video so that we will get motivation to get more videos to record it and will be updated. So the like target is will be 30. So yeah, hi Sunil, please introduce yourself. So DevOps, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Sure, sir. Hello and thank you for having me today. I have over 6 years of experience in IT industries with a strong foundation in Linux administration, cloud engineering, and DevOps practice. I began my career as a Linux administrator, where I developed solid
Sunil, if you
understanding
are
of
not talking, please mute yourself.
where I
Yes.
de- where I developed solid understanding of system management and automation. About a year into my career, I transit into cloud engineering, gaining hands-on experience with the various cloud platform and service. For the past 4 years, I have specialized in DevOps, focusing on tools and practices that enhance development and operation efficiency. My expertise including version control with Git, continuous integration and continuous delivery with Jenkins, containerization with Docker, and orchestration tool with Kubernetes. Additionally, I have extensive experience with infrastructure as a code using Terraform and configuration management with Shape. On the cloud, I am proficient in AWS service, including EC2, S3, VPC, and IAM, which has allowed me to design and manage scalable, secure, secure cloud architecture architecture effectively. My background equipped me with a well-rounded skill set in both development and operation. It's enabling me to streamline the process and drive efficiently across the entire life cycle of application. I am excited to bring this experience to your team and contribute the success of your project. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So I got to know, right? You didn't even prepare the introduction part, and you just open the chart and you are just reading out the introduction. So if you follow the like this, I cannot able to help you, and you will not get a job. So you need to prepare. You need to keep dedication. Then only you can able to crack.
Yes, sir.
So you didn't prepare the introduction, and you are not practicing. As I said, I already provided the script. You need to practice it in front of mirror. You should not. You can modify according to your requirement as well.
Okay, okay.
So on the cloud, I am proficient in AWS services, including EC2, S3, VPC, and IAM. You like that you are telling. So you need to tell it confidently. So on the cloud, I'm proficient in AWS services like EC2, S3, VPC, and IAM.
Okay, okay, sir.
You need to talk confidently, but you are just reading out, so it will not help you. So Sunil, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, sir, to introduce myself. I am Sunil Shikalwadi, a software engineer with 5 years of experience in the industry, and my expertise spans several critical areas of modern software development and the operations. And I am a proficient in a version control using Git and have a hands-on experience with a uh, have a hands-on experience with the Jenkins. In terms of a configuration management, I utilize Ansible to streamline process. My skills also include containerization with Docker and Kubernetes, enabling efficient deployment and scaling of applications. For monitoring and logging, I rely on a Grafana to ensure a system performance and reliability. And additionally, I leverage a infrastructure as a code tools such as a Terraform and a Cloud Formation to automate and manage infrastructure development efficiently. And I am fascinated about leveraging these tools to build scalable, reliable, and efficient software systems. Excuse
Same
me.
applies for you as well, Sunil. You are also just reading the script. You didn't even prepare the introduction. Okay. This will not help. You need to, when I provided a script, you need to practice it multiple times and you need to make it as a real time.
Okay.
Okay. So, Anisette, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you given this opportunity. I'm Aniseti Venkatesh, a DevOps engineer with 5 years of experience, currently working at Tech Software Private Limited in Kondapur. My skill set including extensive expertise in AWS for cloud infrastructure management and version control. I'm well versed in continuous and integration and deployment using Jenkins along with build automation through Maven. I have experience with code quality and security tools like SonarQube and JFrog, as well configuration management using Ansible. In the realm of containerization, I work with Docker and Kubernetes for orchestrating and scaling applications. My proficient in infrastructure code has demonstrated through my use of Terraform. Additional, I'm skilled in shell scripting to automate tasks and utilize Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring and visualization. My background equips me drive efficient and reliable DevOps practice in any dynamic environment. That's it from my side. Thank you.
So, yeah, same applies to you as well. You both three are not preparing and you are just joining for time pass. Okay, it will not help you. You need to have dedication, you need to prepare. Okay, you got a weekend, you are just enjoying. Okay, introduction will plays a key role for every interview. If you cannot perform the introduction, so you cannot able to crack a job. Okay, I already provided a
Okay.
script. Okay, it's
Yes.
your responsibility. I cannot force you, right? You are not kids. So if
Yes.
you
Yes.
perform like this, then after I will not going to tell you. Okay. So in the next mock interview, if you perform like this, so it will be okay. So Kalyan, can you please introduce yourself? Don't reveal about your genuine information. You can add some fake.
Yes, thank you for giving the opportunity, sir. So I have 2.3 years of experience in the DevOps. So within the 2.3 years of experience, I have worked on different tools and technologies like Git. Git is my source code management, where we are going to keeping in our code and all, and also have experience build tool that is Maven since most of our applications are Spring Boot. Also have experience and writing Docker files based on Docker files build Docker images. These images we are going to deploy in Kubernetes cluster. Our cluster is a EKS cluster. Also have experience on Jenkins as a CI/CD tool, written some pipelines, also have experience on Terraform as an infrastructure management tool, and all AWS services we are going to manage with Terraform itself. So also have experience on Ansible as my configuration management tool. Apart from that, have experience and AWS services like EC2, S3, Lambda, Secret Management, EKS, ECR, and other services as well as. And coming to my roles and responsibilities, I'm working on Kubernetes to deploy the application. For that, we are going to write the manifest files and also working on issues like if any pod is not working fine. So I'm going to involve to resolve that issues. So also did some POCs and advanced concept like Fluxcd, GitOps and customizations. Also worked on writing some modules in Terraform to automate our infrastructure management tools. So also written CI/CD pipelines to automate our deployment process. These are all things my roles and responsibility.
So thank you, Kalyan. So how was his introduction? Sunil, is it natural or
Actually, this is a natural, sir. We have to
yeah?
do the.
I didn't even prepared a script for him. I didn't even given a script for him. Okay.
Okay.
So he's just telling naturally. You need to convert that script into natural. So how he is telling for source code, I'm using Git. Right, for continuous integration, I'm using Jenkins. I've created a pipelines for in Jenkins. Okay, what I've just given you an overview of script. You can convert according to your requirement, and it should be realistic.
Okay.
So Kalyan, you are good, but definitely if you have some, you just need to align all this. It is in zigzag manner. It's okay. I'm not telling it's bad, but you need to add it in format. You said Terraform. You said Jenkins.
Yes, yes.
Okay, it is just a zigzag. So you need to align tools one by one.
Okay, sure, sure, sure.
So shall we start today's mock?
Yes.
Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, what is the purpose of input step in Jenkins pipeline? We will write an input step, right, in the Jenkins pipeline. What is the use of that? So what is a Jenkins node label? How is it used?
Sir, for node label, uh, if Jenkins provided master slave architecture, so we distribute the load. So the system not understand where to run job. So we can give label for that node. So
Super,
it will that automatically understand where need to run job whenever we trigger.
super. You are right. So how do you set up your notifications in Jenkins? This one we already discussed. Example, email or Slack. How do you set up that? In the
Uh,
morning we have already discussed.
yes, sir. We first we need to install Slack plugin on Jenkins controller. After that, we need to go and configure the Slack channel in our Jenkins controller. Then and
How you will
we
go?
uh, we can go with into manage Jenkins. Uh, in manage Jenkins, there is a configuration system.
Super,
Uh,
yes.
there we need to configure our Slack channel and need to pass that channel name and API key to make communication with Slack.
Okay. So most famous was email. Multiple people will use email alerts. So do you know how to configure email?
Sir, yes, we can do it. Email notification plugin. We need to configure that one also. Uh, we need to give some uh, email server host and
SMTP server
yes,
host
yes,
name.
SMT server host name, user and password, and then it will send the mail to our, like that we can.
Okay. So how do you configure Jenkins to execute parallel test across multiple nodes? Nothing but I want to run a job in a stage parallelly on every node at a time.
We can use our multi-branch pipeline.
No, I
uh,
want to execute parallel tests. Multi-branch pipeline if you use, it will go and execute, take Jenkins file from every branch, it will run that. I don't want to
Sorry,
do
sir.
that.
So we need to add parallel block in script,
Yes,
Jenkins script.
yes. So how do you use Jenkins for building Docker images and deploying them to a registry? This one we already did multiple times.
How
How you
can we
will do
use
that?
Jenkins for building Docker image?
So I will create a, I want to create a Docker image and I want to push the Docker image to my Docker registry. So for that, how you
For
will do
that,
that?
sir, we need to keep Docker file in our GitHub repo,
Super.
and
Yes.
we need to introduce two stage, one for building image and another for to push Docker
Yes.
images to Docker Hub.
Yes. How you will create a Docker image? Do you know the command?
Yes, sir. Docker build minus t, and just give dot if I use by default Docker file name.
Okay.
Otherwise, I need to pass minus a flag to file.
Okay. From tomorrow we will start Docker and I will ask you to write a Docker file. Can
Sure,
you
sir.
able to write, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is Docker registry? What is the use of that?
Docker registry nothing but we can store our images on that in that registry. It's a simple repo
Okay.
on Docker Hub.
How you will store images in the registry?
Sorry, sir.
How you will store images in the registry?
Yes. For that, we need to give. Uh, if I use Docker Hub, that is default Docker Hub, then I
Okay.
need to give tag username. Suppose I have username Munde B, so username name and
Okay.
after that image.
Okay.
Then we need to log in Docker login, uh,
Super. Okay.
and then push Docker push image name.
Super. Yes. So how do you configure a job to trigger SCM changes?
Uh,
Nothing but whenever there is a change in the source code management tool, GitHub or GitLab, I want to trigger a job.
Sir, for this, uh, Jenkins provide one SCM plugin. We need to install that, and then we need to. Uh, if I do it for freestyle job, I will go and select pull SCM
Super.
and
Yes.
then give cron tab entry. Whenever developer push code on GitHub repo, it automatically pull and build artifact.
Okay. Remaining people are not participating. Okay. You need to participate. So how do you add a conditional logic in Jenkins pipeline?
We can do that. Uh, Basically, whenever we use declarative pipeline, there is only simple some stage step, stage and step. So we need to introduce script block. Then we can use conditional block inside that script block.
You are answering my questions, but in the introduction part, you are failing. Okay. First impression is the best impression for every interview.
Yes, sir.
Your technical part, you are perfect. You are answering for every question, but in every interview, first they will check for the introduction. If you are not performing
Yes, sir.
introduction,
I need to work on introduction and roles and responsibilities. I know.
you need to improve.
Yes, yes, sir.
I don't know like why you are just reading out the script. You need to prepare. So did I also did just read your script right
Yes, sir.
in the previous mock interview? But it is natural, not it like I'm just reading something. So how you can able to do that on practice?
Yes, sir. I can.
Okay, how do you use a shared library in Jenkins?
Yes, sir. Shared library we can use in Jenkins. We need to go manage, then configuration, and then I need to give. Suppose my script is stored on GitHub, then I need to go and configure that shared library name, library repo, and then that credential to pull. And in the pipeline, we need to introduce like. at the rate library and that
Super.
library name and then underscore.
Yes. So how do you generate parameterized builds in Jenkins?
We can choose our parameterized build in Jenkins in freestyle job as well in pipelines as well. In pipelines, in the we can define it pipeline inside pipeline block. So we will be able to access overall in pipeline that uh, start from parameters group. Sorry, parameters block, sir. Inside that we can pass string parameter, boolean parameter or choice parameter. Suppose I want to use same job for multiple environment like dev stage and prod, then we can go with choice, sir.
Okay, okay. Tomorrow I am going to show this parameterized builds. Okay, then you will get clarity.
Sure.
So how do you roll back to a previous build version in Jenkins?
How do you roll back to your previous version in Jenkins?
So whatever the code we have written by developer, it will be stored in source code repository. So
Yes, yes. We need to revert, sir. We need
yes,
to revert in GitHub and then rebuild.
yeah, and that is one method, but we have multiple methods. So shall we check the answers for all?
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the purpose of input step in Jenkins pipeline? The input step in a Jenkins pipeline allows you to pause the pipeline and wait for manual approval or user input before proceeding to next stage. If you see pipeline agent any stages, steps echo building, stage approval, steps input deploy to production. Question mark. Okay, whenever I pass some value, then only it will go to next step. Okay, then if not, it will not go to next step. So in between there will be some approvals, right? So if you want to have that approvals, you can keep the input block. Okay. What is Jenkins node label? How is it used? A Jenkins node label is a tag applied to agent that categorize them based on their capabilities. Labels are used to direct specific jobs to in specific nodes. Okay. If you see agent label Linux, this will execute on that agent. So how do you set up right notification in Jenkins? Right, install email extension plugin. Go to configure the SMTP server under manage Jenkins configure system. Use the email right step to pipeline to send an email notification. So Slack notification. This is the command. You need to give the channel name. If you what is the color you want to give and what is the message. So for that you need to install Slack notification plugin. Go to manage Jenkins configure system. Use the Slack send step in the Jenkins file. So how do you configure Jenkins to execute parallel test across multiple nodes? So if you see parallel stage. So parallelly it will run on the two servers. Okay, at a time. Not after stage this stage completes next to the stage, not like that. At a time, two stages will be executed. Getting? That's the meaning use of parallel. Parallel nothing but parallelly. So how can you use Jenkins for building Docker images? Okay, install Docker pipeline plugin. Even Jenkins pipeline use Docker build. Okay, with Docker registry to push it to the registry. How do you configure a job to trigger on SCM changes? In the freestyle project, go to build triggers and select poll SCM. Okay, alternate configure a webhook in GitHub to trigger builds automatically on code pushes. So if you see stage build steps, Git. So if you see trigger poll SCM, what is this H by 5? For every 5 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
How do you add conditional logic in a Jenkins pipeline? So if you see agent any stages stage build when branch is main steps. Like this you can able to add a condition using when. So how do you use a shared library in Jenkins? Create a repository for shared library with scripts placed in vars directory. Go to manage Jenkins config system, global pipeline libraries, add the shared library repository. So in the pipeline, you can use @library. So how do you generate parameters builds in Jenkins? Okay, parameters nothing but you will be having multiple options. So parameters builds allows users to pass input before running a job. In future jobs, you can add parameter in the build. This build is parameterized. I will show you that tomorrow. For pipeline jobs, define parameters in Jenkins. I will add parameters. Okay. How do you roll back to a previous build version? So manual rollback. Jenkins itself doesn't manage rollback. You can use trigger to job to deploy previous successful builds or artifacts. Like artifact archive. No, use Jenkins artifact archive feature to store previous build versions. In case of failures, you can redeploy the older artifact by triggering a specific build manually, or you can use git use version control to roll back code and trigger a new build based on that revision. Okay, like with this we have completed total 50 Jenkins interview question and answers. Okay, tomorrow onwards at least keep some focus. Okay, we have Docker, and from tomorrow I will directly ask you to share your screen. Okay, because in Jenkins normally people will ask you to write pipeline, that's it. Share your screen and write a pipeline. That is the only question in Jenkins you will get. But in Docker, they will ask you to write a Docker file. They will ask you to explain difference between this entry point CMD. There are multiple things are there. Okay, we will discuss. And what is the difference between this virtual machine and Docker? Okay, I will stop the recording.